there, and welcome to Neophyte.tv, the technology show for the not-so-geeky. My name is Ben Friedman, and we are very lucky today to have my good friend, Scott Sexauer, with us. Scott?
How you doing?
Welcome to the show. And by the way, before I get tons of email about your name, some people have lunch hour, we have sex hour.
Or coffee break.
Is that, have you had a lot of issues with that?
I've heard it. I've heard
You've
everything.
heard every permutation of that name?
I've heard everything.
Has that been your bane since high school? Or maybe it was a good thing in high school.
Yeah, you know, it was just one of those things.
One of those things.
You get used to it.
Now, what we're looking at today on the show, Scott is an avid, as well as being an incredible editor, he's also an avid mountain biker. You mountain bike a lot. Mm-hmm. And Scott has been known to post videos of himself mountain biking. And up until now, right, you have been using like a regular camcorder that you somehow like duct taped to your helmet, or how do you make that work?
Fabricated helmet, kind of retrofitting.
Right.
Different.
But it's a full-size camera.
Yeah.
It's like a camera that you would use to shoot.
That's where you get the best quality of footage.
Best quality of footage. That's right. So you've got this big camera, but that's not a cheap camera, right?
No.
You know, $1,000 or $1,500, $2,000.
I've gone up to HD. So.
Right. So that's a pricey camera.
Yeah.
Well, now there are companies that are producing cameras specifically for that sort of extreme video look, and one of these is one of the ones we're looking at today. This is the Hero Cam by GoPro. Is that right?
That's
Hero
correct.
Cam by GoPro, and actually. This is actually a little camera inside a camera. If I see if I can remember how to do this, you slide this.
Pop that open. Yeah. No, like this. There you go.
Ah, there you go. Pop this open. This opens up, and then you've actually got the whole camera is that right there. Let me turn this so you can see just how tiny that is. It's a very small little camera.
Very small.
Very minimal.
Yeah.
Has a space for your SD card right there, and then it fits inside this included waterproof and dustproof and windproof and everything proof chassis. So you put it in there like this and close it up, and then it has buttons that will push through.
Correct.
And now you see we've got this on our table. This is a suction cup. I can actually lift this up. This is a suction cup mount, but the whole goal of this camera is that you can mount it pretty much anywhere. So where's your helmet? Did you have your helmet here?
I do.
You've got a thing right here. Take a look on your mountain bike helmet where you just pop this out of here and you can attach it right here to the top of the helmet.
If you can see that, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I know that you've also twist-tied this to your bike frame.
There are different mounts that the camera can actually mount up to.
Do tell.
There are mounts for roll bars. There are mounts for body harnesses.
So this would be like for a window mount if you want to put this on the window of your car.
Hood of a car.
Yeah, you put it, or a hood of a car. You can put it this way. You know, it's all articulating. So if you want to put it on a window this way, you can turn this like so, and now it'll stick to that.
So many different options as far as angles, and you go upside down with it and just flip the image later on.
And then compared to what you've been spending, you know, on your big camera, this is what, a couple $100?
Couple $100, yeah.
Didn't suck it down too much there.
Hey, it's designed for stuff like that.
It's designed, that's
totally
right. You can mess with this camera. It's designed to be beat on. So a couple $100 so that if you do lose it, and or if it falls off a cliff, I mean, that might not even hurt it. But even if it does, you're not out a couple of $1,000.
Right.
It's a couple of $100. So how does this compare? You know, how would you compare this to what you've been using? I
would say the footage on this, especially because it has a wide angle lens, it goes up to like a 170-degree lens.
So it's super wide. So you're getting a big panorama.
Super wide, which when you're using it for action sports, whether it's biking, whether it's just panoramic shots, especially when you're using fast motion. People use it for surfing, things like that.
Surfing, because of course it's waterproof.
Exactly.
You suction cup this, or actually, I guess, I don't know if most surfboards are...
They've got another attachment for it that's a little larger.
And then you can like wrap it around your board?
They actually...
Or skirt your board.
Yeah, I don't have a surfboard, I don't surf, so, but they do, they attach it right to the front.
Yeah, and, I mean, some boards are made of porous material, so you couldn't use a suction cup.
Right. So I think there's actually a drill. There's actually
a drill attachment.
You'd have to go into your board.
Yeah.
Kind of tough.
But if you want good video, maybe that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. It shoots very, very clear, very precise footage. I'm very impressed with it.
Now, you started with this button on top, right?
Correct.
So I'm going to do that now.
Only 2 buttons.
There's only 2 buttons at the front.
Yeah.
And in fact, one issue that I have with this camera is, unlike some, especially today's new video cameras, you can kind of pick it up without really reading the manual, just open it up and use it.
And start working.
This thing, it's pretty much impossible.
It's a little tough.
If you just pick this up and look at it, there is nothing, you know, you cannot use it without reading the manual, and the manual is like not the most intuitive thing in the world.
It's not. No. It's a little tough to...
While you're talking about that, I'm going to start this recording.
Start. It's just it's a little tough.
And the red light. So I'm going to record you here. Now there's no viewfinder. There's no
Correct.
screen. So I'm just going to assume that because it's wide.
So you have no idea what you're shooting.
Right.
It's very kind of point and shoot. As soon as you start shooting it or recording, then it's basically, you're just hoping, and with the wide angle lens, you know you're catching quite a wide.
I'm moving this. I'm kind of just pointing it in your general direction,
Exactly.
and I assume that I'm catching you because it's just a wide enough lens.
Right.
I could probably, if I probably,
you can go right there, and
I'm probably still catching
Yep.
you, even though I'm pointing it at the screen here.
Yeah.
People can probably see my screen. They can probably see my hands underneath here.
It does a really good job, especially I've taken it underwater. Swimming is great. You can take it with the kids.
You just dropped it in the toilet.
I just dropped it in the toilet.
No, but taking it swimming with the kids?
Yep, they love it. They
Awesome.
have such a good time. And the nice thing about these cameras is they've got a the housing that it comes with.
Right.
If you were to really drop this thing or get into a bad wreck, a bad crash, replacement on that's like $40.
Let me stop it here while we're
Sure.
doing that. So more than likely, if you do wreck or have a bad accident, you may destroy the whole thing, but quite likely you're just going to destroy the housing.
Sure. It's very strong.
Camera will be fine,
Right.
and it does look strong. So there it goes. It just says that I've recorded one clip on this card, and that's it. I can't play it back. I can't double check to make sure.
They look, no.
So, there are some issues compared to a full-size camera.
Sure, sure.
I mean, have you been out shooting and you thought you were shooting, and then when you get back to your computer, maybe you don't have quite what you thought you had.
You don't have the shot that you were really hoping you were going to get,
Right.
which is it's a bummer. I mean, it really is. However, I found that you'll have to be able to look at the camera every time you turn it on.
You've got to double check the settings, because this just says 001 and then there's a 2. So it's clip number one, and I'm in mode 2, which is 720p at 30 frames. So here we're seeing some 720p full motion, full speed footage, and this is you with the thing attached to your bike. That we're seeing here, and this is one of the modes. So is this the mode you use the most often, this 720p mode? Or
I keep it in the 720p mode. That way, if I want to take the footage and slow it down, because it really has very good slow motion.
Right, because there's a mode on this camera that is designed for slow-mo.
Yes.
So now let's switch over and watch some of the slow motion footage that you've caught here. Kind of similar sort of footage, but now it's in slow-mo.
Now it's in slow-mo.
Right. So, and boy, as you can see, that really reduces the amount of shake.
Yes.
A lot of times when you're doing mountain biking, or there's a lot of shake and shudder, but when you put it in slow motion, that kind of all gets smoothed out.
The stutter you would normally find when you take it into post in some other program, the stutter is not there.
And if you take regular high definition footage and try to slow it down, the camera's doing a lot of work, or your editing program's doing a lot of work trying to figure out those in-between frames.
Right.
So this, because it's actually capturing those in-between frames, 60 frames per second, is going to look a lot smoother.
Very smooth. Very
so that's
smooth.
nice. Well, let's take a minute now before we go on, and do you mind if we show a longer clip of one of the pieces you've edited?
Sure.
All right, so we're going to show here's one of the bits they edited, and this has some of your helmet cam and some of this cam.
It's kind of a mix of different angles from on the bike or from a ride that we've done.
Take a look.
Well, I don't know if this was the best idea, but when I woke up this morning, it was already 90, 91 degrees. We decided to come out to the desert and ride bikes. So it's got to be pushing 100.
And a little humid now.
Humid.
We're just dripping. At least the cameraman's dripping. You guys are hammering. Maybe not in your own words, but you're hammering the cameraman.
Hammering Hank.
You're hammering this dude right here.
Hammering Hank.
See that guy right there? That's who they're hammering.
That's the old man.
got to get out of here before you call air support.
Wow, that was fantastic. And you've been doing this for a little while, obviously. You got a good hand in there.
I've been shooting, it's been a progressive thing, but ever since, let's say, early 90s, I've been shooting
And back then, did you have to have like the big shoulder pack with the camera, you know, on the back of the car with a huge battery pack?
Those are the bigger, those are the bigger cameras, and definitely, you know, standard footage and standard.
It's gotten easier.
Yeah, it's gotten easier. The cameras have gotten lighter, and going from just a regular lens up to a wide angle, definitely a wide angle smooths down whatever terrain you're going to be on, and it makes it much more enjoyable to watch. And I did it primarily just to get into. Just to document where we ride, what we do when I go out riding with my buddies, and it's so much fun to come back home and watch the footage, and we'll watch them.
Well, that was great, and I thought the footage, the GoPro footage, matched really well with the other high def footage. It didn't. It does. It wasn't a jarring experience to see the two.
Not too bad. Low light conditions, the GoPro doesn't do too well.
And that's a good point. Now, I'll be interested to see what we just shot in here, because we're indoors, although we are under studio lights, so we're better lit than most indoor situations, but it's not a great indoor camera.
It's really not.
So if you want to try, this is not, you don't want to shoot a birthday party with this or something like that, unless it's outdoors.
Unless it's outdoors.
Yeah, not great for nighttime footage, not great for anything indoors. It's really an outdoor action camera.
Yes, definitely.
No other controls. I mean, you can't focus it, right? Or anything.
You can't focus.
But being so wide,
point and shoot.
Being such a wide camera, it's going to focus pretty close to stuff anyway.
It does. It does a very good job. You can get right up next to it, and I've had fears of people are like right up in it, and
still looks
the
good.
Footage comes out, and you can still see everything around them, behind them.
A lot of fisheye, but that's what you get.
It's really not that bad.
Not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's surprising because of the angles. What you're capturing on that, you would think there'd be a little vignetting around the edges,
but it's not.
There's really
it's
not.
Very usable footage.
Very, very usable.
That's cool. If someone wants to see more of your videos, best place, because I know we got people out there going to love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was cool. And,
YouTube.
YouTube.
I've got a lot of my stuff on YouTube.
What can people search for?
Search for Momentum Video AZ.
Momentum Video AZ, all one word?
All one word.
And they'll find your videos up there.
They can find some of the stuff that I've shot around.
That's very cool. And you obviously you know what you're doing with that. I mean, I'm not a mountain biker, so that would look way hardcore to me.
I'm just waiting to get you out there.
We're
going to get him out there.
No video cameras on that thing. Well, that's great. It's the GoPro. For anyone out there who's interested in doing any sort of extreme sports, extreme riding, or motorsports, put it on the side of your boat, on the side of your car. Yes. If you take the car to the track, or if you just need a dashboard cam. I mean, this thing. That is solidly
very solid
on there.
They've got in fact race cars in racing.
Perfect for race cars.
Yeah, such a small cockpit.
Well, and in fact, I don't know if I want to show this video, but I was on my family went to Wisconsin a month ago on vacation, and we went. My daughter and I went on this roller coaster, and they had one of these on the front of the ride.
Nice.
Yeah, mounted on there, and they turned it on right before they started the ride, and at the end of it, they came out, pulled the card, put it out there, and it was awesome because it was so wide angle.
It's so easy.
Let us know what you think. Go to www.neo-fight.tv. That's the place you can leave us a comment. What's your best use for an extreme cam? What do you want to do? And would you rather use something like this than a full-size camera or something that you've mounted? Have you ever destroyed a camera? By the way, this thing takes stills photos as well, right?
Takes stills. 5 megs.
How's the quality?
Quality's pretty good.
I mean, it's not going to be DSLR.
It's not, but it's 5 megs. They're still very clear,
very clear, good. Very wide.
But you're getting the wide angle, so as far as getting precise shots of something, it's not going to be as accurate as you would.
Indeed, but and again, mostly outdoor only, really, is what you're looking for.
Right.
You can also go to Facebook, www.facebook.com/neophyte. Sign up there to win some of the stuff we review. And Scott, I just want to say thanks for coming by, trying it out, showing us your awesome videos.
You got it.
Momentum Video AZ on YouTube. And if you have an extra 30 seconds, take a look at this. If you need to make recordings of your computer screen, there's no better tool than Camtasia from TechSmith. In fact, you're watching a screen recording of this video right now.
Camtasia can record your screen, your webcam, and high-quality audio at the same time. It's perfect for training, presentations, podcasts, or any time you need to show what's going on your computer.
Camtasia is easy to use, but it's also extremely powerful. You can turn your screen recordings into high-quality polished video in no time and share them with the world.
And Camtasia is available for the Mac and PCs. If you need to make screen recordings to educate, train, or sell, there's no better tool than Camtasia from TechSmith.
Swing set. Holy cow! Doesn't go over. I'm glad you like it, sweetie. Well, let me tell you, that's the best there is. That's the world's best at $20. $20? Yeah. Say hi.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
That's bad. Well, now that you've gone on that, everything else is going to be easy.